So, how do you pluck apart? I got a lot of those questions over the weekend. This one has already been done. Unfortunately, I do not have a brand new wig to demo it on, but I think you can get the idea by me explaining it to you this way. So the first thing I would do is get my part put in. This is Kendall, a full mono top by Renau. So she can be parted on either side. I do prefer my part on the right. So I went ahead and I got her in there. Then what I do is I just take a pair of tweezers. I use the flat end and the pointy end. There's no rhyme or reason to it. But let's just say this one was not plucked out yet. I would go in and I would just start going down, and I literally just pull little pieces out like that, just a little at a time. There's no set way of doing it. And I would just keep opening up that part a little bit more until I got it to where I wanted it to be. And on this one, I went a little farther back. The part was only to about here when I first got her. And I just opened that up to go back a little bit farther because I prefer it that way. And the other thing about doing a part is it's not just going down the seam right here. It's also going into this part of the hair and thinning that out so you don't get this like puff right here, because sometimes that doesn't look as natural. You want it to lay a little flatter. So what I do is I go in and just, again, this is random. There's no exact science to this. And I would just start, and I just start from the back and I work my way up. And you can see those little pieces that are in there. Then I would just take my comb and I brush it out. And I would do the same thing on this side. And I'm just going along. There's no particular way of doing it. Oops, sorry about that. I dropped my comb. And I just keep doing it until I get it to look the way I want it to look. As far as going up into the part, it's basically the same concept. You want to go right along the hairline, right in here, and make that just kind of uneven and not necessarily perfect, because our hairlines are not perfect. And that makes it look a little more natural. So again, I would just go in and I would literally just start plucking across there a little bit at a time. It's not just about plucking close to the hairline. You also want to take your hair and you want to go back into it a little bit. Sorry, let me get this. And I'd normally have a clip and I would clip that, but I would start plucking from here too and pulling some of those hairs out. And what that does is it just kind of thins up the hairline and it makes your hair lay a little more natural. Another thing that I do for my hairline is I like to create the baby hairs across there. Now, again, I've already done this, but what I would do is, you know how like if you're messing with your hair, you get like, it's all to the side right now, but you get those pieces that fall in your face. And God, can my face get any closer to this camera? But they're hanging in your face. I take those and literally just clip them. And that becomes those little hairs right through there. These are normally those pieces that would be in my face driving me nuts. But instead now they're actually camouflaging the lace up through there and making that look more natural if I do pull my hair back. So I would just kind of be like this with it. And then, oh, okay, so here's a long piece that sort of fell forward, if you can see it. It's one piece right there. I would just take that, clip it. There, and it just becomes little messy baby hairs up in there. And it makes your hairline just look a little more natural. So that's how I do it. And I do just a tiny, tiny bit at a time. You don't want this part to be perfect because again, our parts are not perfect and our hairlines are not perfect. And I will also do a little bit on this side too. Now this one, I have my ear tabs cut out of. And some people asked, how does that work with putting it behind your ears? Well, I would just paste it behind my ear like normal. But this right here, that doesn't look too natural because I have a shaved head under here and that doesn't look good. So what I do is I just take my fingers and I kind of pull the hair down and forward a little bit. Right in there. Get it fluffed back up the way I want it. And then you can see the difference in how that looks there. It looks more natural and filled in. Okay, so that is how I do the hairline and the part. I just use tweezers, and again, a little tiny bit at a time till you get it to how you want it to be, okay?